Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? Black Clover. Um, this is a pretty hype episode. I think every episode is gonna be practically hype. Uh, After seeing what we've been seeing, it's easy to tell that everything that's kind of coming out of these episodes lately are the end all be all of some situations. In the case of having some kids, having some people probably like understanding each other a lot better, like the brothers, or just simply having more understanding of, what everybody kind of goes through, what it feels like if, the best of the best was taken over, who's gonna step up and who is going to save DD. And it came out to being, like the weak people, or at least the people who haven't been completely possessed by these elves, and thanks to them, they're the only literal reason why anybody is still alive in the Clover's place, because if it wasn't for them, everybody be bodied right now, especially the king, seeing how even trying to let him through some spatial magic wasn't even going to work. It got canceled out and stuff like that, so everything that pops off, everything that pops off this week is pretty hype, and we really do learn why the Mantis captain is truly capable of even having a grudge with Yami, because my lord, did they just put his ability like light years above what I would expect. I mean, he's a captain, so I did expect a lot from him to be in that position. But then to see it like this was absolutely nutty. So spatial magic is something that literally can rip at the fabrics of anything if it's used the way that the Golden Dawn guy uses it. And not only can it rip at that fabric of like space and time and whatever exists, whatever physical thing exists at the moment, you then look at the fact that once you get hit by it, it should be an instant kill, because it's gonna go through all of your stuff, like your clothes, your armor, like all that stuff, and just go straight for your lungs, anything with like vital. It can hit that stuff instantly. So it's crazy to think that magic like that exists, and it's not by far the most broken of all times in this verse. And it's actually something that can be relatively countered by a couple of things. So something that powerful, they still don't want it to be overpowered, right? Like they want it to be as cool as it sounds, as cool as it looks, and even as powerful as most of the top spells. But it clearly can be beaten out by other things, and that's what I think makes Black Clover pretty good. They do make some ridiculously cool like powers that you would think no one would maybe be able to beat. But then you gotta remember as well, there is someone out there who could pretty much beat anyone out there. So I don't know. It was an interesting way of shedding some light on what the spiritual the spiritual magic can do against just practically anybody and anyone if it's in the hands of someone that wants to like cause a lot of damage. So by lord, did this did Finral's brother cause a lot of damage, man. Not to mention, like, back to the Praymantis guy, he started to cut something that could rip through anything. He started to cut it in half, which is crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. Which gives me a good understanding in the case of he could probably then cut Yami's like his dimensional slash, right? Um, there's nothing he can't slice once he wants to slice it. That's pretty much just his overall power. Sure, he has a long range like throwable blade, but he's more of the close up and personal type of fighter. You can already tell that. So it's funny to see him pretty much like not only keeping up with Yami in the case of like putting on the pressure, but all of his attacks are usually like close up and stuff, just kind of like Yami too, where it comes down to his sword attacks. But a lot of his attacks also, after he does a sword attack, there's range on the attack as well. So that's what they kind of feel like the perfect weird mash characters together in the case of like fighting and handling these situations, because not only do they have like relatively the same ideals when it comes down to their powers, is oh, I'm going to use my power and I'm going to break my limit, like that's kind of Yami's thing. And now that I'm seeing this guy, it's clearly his thing as well, because what does he do after finding out he can't cut the spatial magic like 2 times, 3 times? He then cuts it, he then literally rips it in half. Not only did he rip it in half, he then comes to find out that if he can hit it and, do that, that goes to show that he'll be able to open up a little bit of a promising gap in between the offense and defense for an attack if he really wants to. And it just came down to the Golden Dawn guy, the vice captain, being such a powerhouse with his magic overall that once the elf got in there, he's like, oh man, this is live. Like, he didn't have to do much, but he got some of the strongest magic in the show just by picking or getting that body. So that's what's up. Even though he lost, I think it's kind of crazy that he's lost so many times within this show already. He's already lost like twice. But it makes sense though, because I mean, he's going against big characters. He's going against, the characters who truly, truly matter. Dang, Goku, that's how you feel? You did it in the air. Alright, I'm gonna punch you in the face. But yeah, overall though, I was very satisfied with what we got with this week's episode. A lot of things kind of were clarified when it comes down to Yami and the Green Mantis guy. Like who's truly is strong and why do they even have a rivalry? We know why now, because seemingly they're practically the same people at this point in time. Like they just, for some reason, have similar fighting styles, similar personalities. They were in sync at the end of the episode, talking at the same time, yelling at each other at the same time. All of these different things kind of made me love the two of them as rivals, right? Like this could be Asta and Yuno, but Asta and Yuno are gonna be probably stronger by a good little bit. But at the same time, this is kind of where it comes from. I mean, I don't think they would be in sync with each other. I mean, maybe they would be after they had to do some coordinated attacks. But even when they were fighting Lich's brand new awakened body, they weren't that much in sync. Like, they were in sync, but they weren't talking in sync. So, I don't know. I do love how they're trying to partner up these characters, Yami and the Mantis guy, though. I mean, they already have done partner stuff. It's just they're usually talking trash, like always, to each other. So you don't really know why they talk trash to each other or where it's going to lead sometimes. But in this case, knowing that there's enemies out there that they can both kind of cut loose on, literally, it's safe to say they're gonna work together, try to get the job done, and probably get body in the process, because the one thing that's getting to me that doesn't make any sense to me, that I hope they clarify soon, is why is there 2 Liches? I know one of them's not Lich, and I know one that is, but for some odd reason, his body 110% like turned to look like Lich, even though he's in Vengeance's body. That was weird to me. Then you got the fact that uh, all those elves in that rock have kind of already been blasted by Asta. So they're not all like incredibly broken people. And to be fair, Asta's way up there when it comes down to very powerful characters, simply because of his anti-magic and how that helps him beat anybody pretty much if they can't outsmart him and hit him from multiple directions that he can't block with his sword. So it now kind of comes down to who and what is the thing that can help these elves actually win all this, and seeing how they're all together on that rock, that might be it. Like, they might do some ridiculous damage. We have barely anybody capable of fighting, and not only are they not capable of fighting, they're tired. They've been fighting this whole time, right? Like, there's not a moment where there's been Magic Knights that we know not fighting. They all just been busting out every single fight. So, I don't know. I'm really interested to see what you guys are thinking about Black Clover. Are you happy it's still going? Have you dropped it? Are you disappointed with things like the pacing or whatever the case? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Whatever the case may be, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. And I hope you're having an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I will have We Never Learn dropping today with this, so it will just be probably those two, and then I will be calling it. So comment on anything, hit me up on Twitter, whatever the case, anime and Mimo, don't matter. Your boy will be there, and I will hope to hear from you later. So from with all that being said, I am your boy, the Anime J, and I will definitely talk to you in the next one. Later.